A month ago, a lot of pool was played, and this guy is the one that ended up on top. A very impressive win.
So there's no excuse for missing this excellent event.
He elevates the cue how good he is, but something about Duong, and it's been like that for a long time in my opinion. He just stays so steady. A lot easier to question the aim, maybe. You know, when the ball's near the rail, about him and some others right before this match kicked off, and you know, he's doing things now. The finals, I believe it was, of the World Championships, but even there, when he won that match, you could see maybe a little fortunate at times, but some big decisions kind of lead a big country in pool.
Yeah, there are two countries in Asia that are very similar. A champion emerges like Duong, obviously he's going to benefit from that greatly, and the other one is Indonesia.
To me, he has, you know, AJ Manis has been talked about the last year, and he's incredible. And don't get me wrong, he
started playing again, and the rest is history.
Another one there for Duong. I'll tell you, his ranking, I think it showed 24. I think we know it's a bit better than that. Here he's got a safety option, but I think he's cutting at this 2-ball. Wasn't his best effort, but
well, the form is good, and one thing I noticed, he's wearing exactly the same.
Anyways, difficult though with the purple there. He's going to play it light. Great touch on those. You know, don't get me wrong, any final of this magnitude is going to be a lot of pressure, but cut, but a lot closer with the cue ball should make this.
Yeah, Duong is a player I always...
Indonesia as well. Don't think those countries don't pay attention to each other a little bit. And, you know, when one's doing a little better than the other, it motivates them.
Looking good, playing. But not the best there. He's right on the 50-yard line.
Players, of course, a little language barrier at times, but these guys understand each other and kind of know how it goes. And I think just that comfort amongst the players has helped him a ton as well.
He's missed the 9-ball, so that's never a good thing. But he's had the...
Boy, this would be a heck of a shot. To make it.
Well, Idrizović will not miss this. Indeed, as well.
Yeah, it didn't quite hit the one how you wanted. Gonna drop the 2 and Federgors, Thorsten Holman.
Oh, of course, of course. Yeah. You see, forgetting Thorsten Holman, that's understandable, but not Federgors.
I mean, I don't see it in the cards here, you know. Today, maybe crediting the change in the format a little bit, knowing the players go forward a little off this pink. You know, like a drag a little bit. That's the other thing that tells me he can
I'm going to dig myself out of that home.
Commentators, that's for sure, my buddies. But I wanted the fans to know there were a couple other incredible. Childress here. We all talked about it with Thorsten. Nathan Childress trying to get here and get some points early and maybe get ahead of steam moving into a.
And so a failed bank has led to the loss.
Kind of opened with a little bit lighter break. Said heck with that. He went ahead and put a little power on the. Maybe partially snookered, but I think he can attack. Maybe a swerve shot or a rail first or a bit of both.
This match, it would be his only race to 9 of the week, because then he would go to race to 10 as he just about caresses the 2-ball in.
Doesn't grab quite as much, the English. Even though yesterday I was very shocked at couple of the shots the players played where the ball grabbed really nicely. On 2 rails here, he's close enough to maybe kill it. And 2 rails was always the shot.
But he's getting very close. I really rate his skills and pretty much up when there. It comes to, I agree with you, his world ranking of 24. That has got.
One thing I want to see is, like, in some of these majors, you know, when you're playing the cream of the crop, and I think that's what really separates that upper echelon, or one of the few things anyways. Filler and certain players, they want that battle. You know, they don't want a player to just lay over and give it to them, and on it beautifully after that, which I think is definitely a great sign.
Didn't he miss a 7-ball?
Had a few discussions about the first 2 Reyes Cups, but I mean, all in all, the big favorite, home country favorite, hometown favorite, Sanjan Pelovanović for match 3, and I'm kind of curious about him. Yeah, I think Sanjan's the perfect type to really feed off of. Yeah, hard ball to roll from distance. Yeah, you could tell he come up off of it. Wasn't another thing I like seeing on the World Nineball Tour is the fresh faces and the talent players you don't know and the skills they have. We've seen it with the junior tour and the junior tournaments here. Come along. That still have that talent. I don't. All right, gonna fall here. Maybe flat. Just to the right side where he's standing, maybe all the way across.
Well, apart from the missed bank in the.
Worrying about tickets and whatnot, it's gonna, I think, one for the ages. I think Texas is gonna, and Texas Pool is gonna show up in a big way.
Coming city in Texas for sport because it's home to the PGA of America.
Yeah.
Yeah, the event is at the Embassy Suites in Frisco, so if you want to.
Here a couple years ago. Went out and watched that. Beautiful golf courses they've built. But you know.
Superb. I'm going to give you a solid that it won a frame. And he completed the jump shot and fluked the green.
An overcut here. Those are the type of these top guys are not going to be happy
it was a foul.
About. Oh, okay.
He
just wanted to. Yeah, okay.
It wasn't going to impact the result of the frame.
I got you. Yeah, you can swerve the.
But you still heavily fancy him to dish.
This has got to slow down. It's got a heavy roll towards the side. He knew it right away, and I'm not going to see it from this angle, but I think he wanted to dig on the cue ball a little bit more to slow it down.
Good, it was in.
Yeah, he felt it right away, and this one may be in as well. Oof.
Duong Quoc. He's 2-1 up against Željko Škorić.
I think he can make a deep run in one of these events as well.
Yeah, could
go for the bank as well. I think that's where he was, his choice kind of laid. Yeah, there's going to be a couple things he wants to shore up. It's going towards the 9, so. Drags this in. Yeah. I was going to say, doesn't have to force the second rail here. Trying to use his speed control to come in. You and I do a lot of traveling field with our work. it's always worth it. But I think as much as anything, these players, the way the
well, there I was saying he needed to be neat and tidy. Lucky actually not a scratch. He was seriously concerned about the possibility. Yeah, Duong was really fortunate there. He could. (5-2).
Press, because there's tons of talent and a lot of know-how out there, but that's just how tough it is. Or that guy coming out.
Yeah, and conversely, there are these two players to make big inroads on the international stage. That win over Shane Van Boening we talked about.
Spin, try and come across.
Well, he must be good.
So that was the name of the club?
Yeah, the Sal Billiards Club. Did pretty well in this tournament last year. Got to the. Eventually lost out 10-6 to Piers Labutis.
With the change in the format, you say a little easier. It's just less pull to make the single elimination. I wouldn't call it easier. Now, Duong, he struggled here today a little bit, and we expect that at times from any great player. But I think you saw on day one a little more of a weight. I don't know if he bumps the 8 here, if he can beat it. Okay, camera angle, I just didn't know.
So, without pulling up any tweak.
Yeah, the break is definitely one that he'll go back and work on. Or didn't really see much wrong with that. Maybe caught it a little bit. Position though. May run into the brown here to hold for the 2. Oh, he could come across. Perfect speed. Perfect on the 5. Go ahead and let this cue ball run a little bit off that first cushion. That way you don't get too thin on the purple. Should be good.
Trouble in this match. What with these inefficient braking and also a few mistakes thrown in.
But we'll show you a little emotion here and there. Yeah, the break just hasn't been the best. Ugly kiss there a little bit, but the cue ball was a little thin on the bottom side. We'll be happy he made the 1
of this ilk.
Looks like the pink does go in the left middle. Just a little heavy on the hit on the pink. Those side pockets are tough, but that pink off the 7 if he had to. Oh, he could see it. No need. He wants this to stay off the cushion. I think it's going to end up resting near. Did get a little bit of an angle. Yeah, got quite a bit out of it. It's going to get a pretty friendly bump. Sorry, Phil, comment. This needs to go a little bit. And it hasn't just. Yeah, even that one barely made it.
Yeah, the last positional shot from 7 to 8 for these guys, that's entirely a stock shot. but he recovered just about on the 8 ball, and now...
To be a great player, they would go to the Philippines for a month or two to try and play as many great players as they can, but I feel like...
Well, of course, Mickey Krause, a former European Open champion, he went...
Okay, nice shot there, and he's willing to take on the safety off the 3, probably just coasting behind the pink.
This, or it could be the beginning of the end. Oh, no hit at all. 8 ball contacted, ball in hand.
Yeah, not much worry here. A little work from the 6 to the 7. You got a little thinner here on the. You could play the cue ball kind of on the line it's on now from the 6 to the 7. This is the thing, he's going to get a hair thin. So now getting past the side, 1 or 2 more cushions after the right rail, like that.
No, that was a world-class shot. Playing a wide ball from under the rails.
See the 9 in that side pocket. Look at the 6. Cue ball open up. Your club table doesn't react that way.
Amar Idrizović. From 4-2, Duong Quoc Hoang has pulled away to win 9-2, winning the last 5 racks. Not exactly impressive.